The movie opens with two men, Leland Jones and Billy, stepping out of their room at a quiet, rural motor court motel. They're on the road, heading east and avoiding big cities. Leland goes to check them out of the motel, while Billy drives the car to the front office. After a while, Leland returns and casually takes the driver's seat. Leland notices they're low on water and tells Billy to go refill their bottle at the office. Billy walks inside and finds the motel clerk shot dead in his chair and the maid lying in a pool of blood. As he fills their bottle, a little girl suddenly steps out from a back room, trembling. Without hesitation, Billy silently pulls out his gun and... The scene then shifts to the peaceful home of Tom Stahl, a diner owner in a small town. Tom wakes up when his 10-year-old daughter, Sarah, screams in fear. She tells him she saw monsters in her room. Tom comforts her. His teenage son, Jack, joins them, teasing that she should leave the light on so the monsters can't touch her. Their mother, Edie, arrives too, and together the family calms Sarah down. The next morning, the family prepares for school and work. Over breakfast, Tom asks Edie to drop him off at the diner, then checks in with Jack about his day. Jack mentions he has a baseball game during gym class and is sure he'll be terrible, as usual. Tom gives him a quick tip to boost his confidence. At the diner, Tom finds just one customer inside with his cook, Mick. The customer is asking if Tom has ever dated anyone crazy, and Mick jumps in with a story about an ex who used to have violent nightmares.
She used to have these crazy goddamn dreams where instead of her boyfriend, I was some kind of demented killer. I woke up one night, she stuck a goddamn fork in my shoulder.
You kidding me?
Oh, I'm spurting blood. She's sitting there crying, going, baby, I love you, I love you.
So what happened? You broke up with her, right?
No, I married her. It lasted 6 years.
Meanwhile, at school, Jack is barely participating in his baseball game until his bully, Bobby, steps up to bat. Bobby hits the ball hard and starts celebrating early, but Jack unexpectedly snatches it out of the air, winning the game for his team. Bobby shoots him a threatening look. In the locker room, Bobby confronts him, mocking him for trying to act like some last-minute hero. He keeps pushing for a fight, but Jack refuses to take the bait.
Come on, chicken shit, let's do this.
What'd be the point? I mean, you win. You win, you win. You established your alpha male standing. But doing violence to me just seems pointless and cruel. Don't you think?
Let's do this, you punk bitch.
Shouldn't that be little, punk-ass, chicken shit fat?
Unable to provoke him, Bobby storms off. That evening, Edie picks Tom up after closing. On the way home, she tells him the kids will be out for the night. Jack is studying at a friend's house, and Sarah is staying elsewhere. She hints that she wants some alone time so they can act like teenagers again.
We never got to be teenagers together. I'm gonna fix that.
Back home, Tom is surprised and very pleased when Edie steps out of the closet dressed in a cheerleader outfit. They begin role-playing, kissing passionately, and end up making love. Meanwhile, Jack is hanging out with his girlfriend, Judy. They joke about what teenagers 100 years ago might have done on a Saturday night. Meanwhile, Bobby and his friend are cruising around town looking for trouble. They spot Jack and Judy, and Bobby's friend urges him to go kick Jack's ass. Bobby agrees and starts driving toward them, but he takes a wrong turn and nearly crashes into a pickup truck, driven by none other than Leland and Billy. Bobby gets ready to confront them and even flips them off, but the two men glare back with a cold, intimidating look. Instantly, Bobby realizes these aren't the kind of people you mess with. As the truck drives away, Bobby and his friend wonder who these men are. Inside the truck, Billy complains that he's sick of the small town and irritated by everything around him. Leland shuts him down, telling him to stop whining. Billy then points out that they're completely broke.
We are so goddamn broke.
That's easy to fix.
At Tom's diner, Tom and his staff are getting ready to close for the night. Only 3 customers remain. As one customer leaves and wishes them goodnight, Leland and Billy walk in. Tom immediately tells them the diner is closing, but the men ignore him and sit down, demanding coffee. Tom repeats himself.
Some of that lemon meringue.
Guys, I'm sorry, we're close.
I said,
Coffee!
To avoid trouble, Tom gives in. He tells Charlotte she can head home while he handles their order. But as Charlotte tries to leave, Leland orders Billy to stop her. Billy grabs her roughly and forces her back into a chair, warning her not to move. Tom tries to calm the situation, saying they can have whatever money is in the register, but Leland pulls out a gun and points it at him. He then tells Billy to kill Charlotte to prove they're serious. But the moment Leland looks away, Tom moves. Everyone in the diner is left stunned, shocked by Tom's sudden and incredible act of courage. Later, Tom is in the hospital with his foot bandaged. Every news channel is calling him a hero, showing his picture non-stop, and interviewing Mick and Charlotte about how he saved their lives. But Tom doesn't look happy about the attention. Edie enters, hugs him tightly, and shows him that he made the front page of the newspaper. When Tom is discharged, townspeople gather outside the hospital, applauding as he's wheeled out. He goes home with his family, only to find a news crew waiting outside the house. The reporter fires off a bunch of questions, but Tom stays humble, insisting that anyone would have done the same thing. He cuts the interview short, saying he needs time to rest and be with his family. Inside, Jack calls him a hero, and even jokes that they should take the fame and go on Larry King Live. Tom and Edie laugh it off. But then Edie notices a black sedan parked down the street, watching their house. Thinking it's more reporters, she points it out. Tom takes a look as the car slowly drives away, but he says nothing. The next morning, Tom returns to his diner, which is now packed with customers thanks to all the news coverage. Edie stops by, gives him a hug, and offers to help out. As they work, 3 unfamiliar men in suits walk in. The men sit down, and Tom asks what they'd like. Their leader, Carl Fogarty, sarcastically calls Tom the town hero and orders a coffee. But he keeps calling Tom Joey.
Joey.
It's Joey.
You,
My name's Tom, sir.
Of course it is.
Fogarty sips the coffee, then comments that you can't get coffee this good in Philadelphia, something Tom should know since he used to live there.
But you know that, don't you, Tom?
No, actually I don't. I've never been to Philadelphia.
Fogarty keeps pushing, telling him to drop the act and calling him by the full name Joey Cusack, claiming they've known each other for years.
Come on, Joey, cut the crap.
My name is Tom.
Joey Cusack. Your name is Joey Cusack. You're from Philly.
Edie steps in, telling the men to leave if they aren't going to order food. Tom also asks them to go so that paying customers can have seats. Fogarty responds by placing a $100 bill on the table and saying they are customers now. Tom refuses it and demands they leave anyway. The men finally get up, warning Tom that they don't want him going all violent on them like he supposedly does when he's angry. They walk out, and a shaken Edie immediately calls the town sheriff.
Call him Sam.
A short while later, Sheriff Sam Carney catches up to Fogarty's car as they're leaving town. He pulls them over, checks their IDs, and asks why they were at Tom's diner. Fogarty lies smoothly, claiming they're just tourists who heard the coffee was good. Sam tells them outright to stay out of their town and lets them go.
You understand me?
Yeah, sure. Well, you keep up the good work, officer.
That evening, Sheriff Sam visits the Stall's home to report what he found. He tells them that Fogarty's companions, Charles and Mulligan, have been indicted for multiple murders and countless violent crimes. Fogarty himself served 15 years in prison and is suspected of several killings and disappearances. Sam makes it clear, these are dangerous men. He asks Tom if he's part of witness protection, but Tom swears he isn't and insists Fogarty has mistaken him for someone else. Sam also checked the name Joey Cusack and found nothing, but he did find a Richie Cusack, a Philadelphia crime boss. Sam warns them to call him immediately if the men return, then leaves. After he's gone, Edie breaks down in tears, overwhelmed. Tom holds her and assures her everything will be fine. The next morning, Tom wakes up early and walks to the diner. Sitting alone, he spots the same black sedan parked across the street, watching the place. When he looks directly at it, the car drives off. Tom immediately realizes something is wrong. He rushes out of the diner, limping heavily on his not yet healed foot, and starts running toward his house. As he runs, he calls Edie. Panic in his voice, he tells her to grab their shotgun because he thinks intruders might be coming. Edie doesn't hesitate. She races to the bedroom closet, finds the gun, loads it, and locks the doors. Moments later, Tom bursts in, startling her so much she almost pulls the trigger. Catching his breath, Tom explains what he saw, saying he thought the men were heading to the house. Jack, eating breakfast, watches the whole scene in confusion. Tom admits he might be losing his mind, but Edie tells him it's just trauma from the attack. Their daughter, Sarah, comes downstairs asking about the new shoes they're supposed to buy that day. Edie sends Jack off to school, grabs Sarah, and goes upstairs to get ready for shopping. Once they're gone, Jack picks up the shotgun curiously. Tom quickly takes it away, warning him that it's loaded. Jack asks what's going on, and Tom finally explains everything. Fogarty, the threats, and the mistaken identity. Jack asks the big question.
I guess they want to kill this guy they think you are?
See, that's the losing my mind part. I mean, I have no reason to think that. Suddenly I thought maybe they'd come looking around.
What if you're right?
And we deal with it.
Later that day, Edie takes Sarah to the mall, unaware that Fogarty has followed them there. While Edie is talking to a sales clerk in a shoe store, Sarah wanders off without her noticing.
Sarah?
She suddenly realizes Sarah is gone. Panicked, she calls out her daughter's name and searches frantically. She finally finds Sarah, and to her shock, Fogarty is sitting near her. Edie immediately pulls Sarah close and demands to know what he wants. Fogarty calmly tells her he only wants her to understand that her husband is not the man he pretends to be. Edie insists Tom has never met him, but Fogarty keeps pushing. He tells her to ask Tom about his brother Richie, or about how he once tried to rip Fogarty's eye out with barbed wire, or how he became so good at killing people. Edie refuses to engage. She warns Fogarty that if he ever comes near her family again, she'll have him arrested. She grabs Sarah and walks away. Meanwhile, at school, Jack and his girlfriend Judy talk about how his dad is coping after the shooting. Suddenly, Bobby corners him and starts taunting him again.
Is your old man some kind of tough guy, huh?
Insults, threats, the usual routine.
What's he think of his wimp son? You think he'd take this shit? You think he'd make jokes? Go on, say something funny.
Jack is visibly boiling with anger, but Judy tries to convince him to walk away. Then Bobby calls Judy a scamp. Jack turns to leave, but Bobby's friend blocks his path. With no other choice, Jack knees the friend in the groin and unleashes his anger on Bobby, punching him repeatedly until he collapses on the floor with a bloody mouth. Judy pulls Jack away before things get worse. At home later, Tom is furious and scolds Jack for fighting. Jack insists Bobby deserved it. He's been bullying him all year. He adds that he only got suspended, so it's not a big deal.
It is a big deal. His parents say they might sue us. There could be assault charges. We can't afford that, Jack. We don't have that kind of money.
Oh, what? Mom's not gonna take the case?
In this family, we do not solve our problems by hitting people.
No, in this family, we shoot them.
Shocked, Jack storms off. Moments later, Edie and Sarah return from the mall. Tom greets them and asks if Edie has seen Jack. She hasn't. Instead, she reveals that Fogarty followed them earlier, but she assures him she handled it. She went straight to the courthouse and filed a restraining order. Edie tells Tom that Fogarty is absolutely convinced he has the right man, and she asks how they're supposed to prove him wrong. Before they can discuss it, Fogarty's black sedan pulls into their driveway. Instantly, Tom grabs the shotgun, and he and Edie rush outside. Tom orders the men to get off his property. Fogarty replies that they'll only leave if Tom comes with them to Philadelphia. There are people waiting to talk to him. Tom still denies being Joey. Fogarty's men then open the car door and reveal Jack, whom they've kidnapped. Edie tries to run to him, sobbing, but Tom stops her and tells her to go inside with Sarah. He promises to bring Jack back. Fogarty tells Tom to drop the gun. Tom obeys, and Fogarty releases Jack, who runs into the house. Fogarty then orders Tom to get in the vehicle, but Tom refuses and tells them to get off his land. When Fogarty sees Tom won't cooperate, he signals Mulligan to take him by force. Mulligan draws his gun and orders Tom to move. From inside the house, Jack and Edie watch in horror, but in a sudden blur of motion, Tom disarms Mulligan, breaks his nose with several brutal strikes. Charles tries to shoot, but Tom fires first. Fogarty retaliates. He stands over the wounded Tom and asks if he has any last words. With cold defiance, Tom says,
"I should have killed you back in Philly."
Fogarty raises his gun to finish the job, but before he can fire, Jack shoots him from behind with a shotgun, killing him. Tom manages to stand. He takes the shotgun from Jack's trembling hands and pulls his terrified son into a hug to calm him. Later, Edie visits Tom in the hospital while he's being treated for the gunshot wound. Quietly but firmly, she demands the truth. She tells him the man she saw today wasn't Tom, but Joey. Tom finally breaks. He admits that he was Joey Cusack, but he killed that identity long ago and rebuilt himself into Tom Stahl. Edie looks physically sick, coughing and gagging as she processes his words. Tom confesses that he used to kill people, sometimes for money, sometimes simply because he enjoyed it, but he left that life behind. He says it took him 3 years to become Tom Stahl after abandoning Joey Cusack. Edie is devastated. She realizes everything he ever told her was a lie. His childhood in Portland, his adoptive parents, and even their last name. Heartbroken and furious, Edie storms out. When Tom returns home from the hospital, he finds Jack waiting outside. Jack already knows the truth.
What am I supposed to call you now?
You're supposed to call me Dad. That's what I am, your dad.
Are you really?
Jack scoffs, shakes his head, and walks away. Later, Tom is working on his pickup truck when Sheriff Sam shows up. Sam asks how Tom is feeling and how the repairs are going, but he quickly reveals he has something serious to discuss. Tom invites him inside. In the living room, Sam admits he's been thinking about everything that happened, and the more he thinks, the less it makes sense. Before he can go further, Edie arrives home. Sam offers to postpone the conversation, but Tom insists they continue. Edie, suspicious, wants to hear it too. Sam explains calmly that men like Fogarty don't make mistakes. They wouldn't risk exposure unless they were absolutely sure they had the right man. He asks Tom, directly and firmly, to tell him the truth. Tom hesitates. Before he can speak, Edie steps in. She tells Sam that Tom is exactly who he says he is, and that their family doesn't need more chaos right now. She even begins crying, convincing Sam to back off. Sam apologizes and takes his leave, promising they can call him if they need anything. After he leaves, Edie pushes Tom away and heads upstairs. Tom stops her on the staircase, but she slaps him. When he tries again, she slaps him harder and kicks him. Their anger and pain collide, and suddenly their struggle turns into desperate intimacy, and eventually make love right there on the stairs. When it's over, Edie quietly gets up, pushes him away, and goes upstairs without a word. That night, Tom lies on the couch, exhausted, when his phone rings. It's his older brother, Richie, someone he hasn't spoken to in years. Richie says he heard what Tom did and is glad he can still kill. Then he gives Tom a choice: come to Philadelphia on his own, or Richie will come to their house himself. To protect his family, Tom packs a bag that night, gets into his truck, and drives straight to Philadelphia. After hours of driving, he reaches the bar Richie told him about. Inside, he orders a beer and spots a quiet young man. Tom asks if he's Ruben, the one Richie sent to meet him. Ruben nods and tells Tom to finish his drink so he can take him to Richie in the Escalade outside. They drive to Richie's mansion, a luxurious estate Tom can't help but notice. Inside, Ruben frisks him, then Richie appears in an expensive suit, smiling warmly. They hug, but the tension is obvious. In Richie's office, the brothers talk. Richie mentions that Fogarty had told him about Tom's farm life. He teases Tom about being married, saying he could never settle for just one woman. Then Richie gets serious. He's angry that Tom vanished for years without a call or letter.
I'm pretty pissed at you, Brian. You could have called. Could have dropped a postcard in the mail. We're brothers. What'd you think would happen?
I thought the business would come first.
Richie explains why he's furious. Tom's attack on Fogarty years ago nearly destroyed Richie's rise to power. Tom burned Fogarty's place, killed his men, and even tore out Fogarty's eye. Richie had been lined up to take over the business, but Tom's actions forced him to start over. Richie says Tom has always been a problem, even reminding him that he nearly strangled baby Joey the day he came home from the hospital.
When Mom brought you home from the hospital, I tried to strangle you in your crib. I guess all kids try to do that. She caught me, whacked the daylights out of me.
I've heard that story.
Well, what do you think? Better late than never.
Richie, I'm here to make peace. Tell me what I gotta do to make things right.
You could do something, I guess. You could die, Joey.
Suddenly, Ruben slips a garrote wire around Tom's neck, but Tom gets his hand between it and his throat. A violent fight erupts. Tom breaks free, flips Ruben over, injures him badly, and kills the other man in the room. Richie pulls out a gun and fires multiple shots, but misses. Tom escapes the office and kills another thug on his way out. Richie screams at the wounded Ruben for failing, then shoots him in rage. Richie and the last guard search the mansion for Tom. Richie notices a slightly open door and steps out quietly. Tom slams it shut behind him, trapping Richie outside, then fights and kills the remaining guard. Richie fumbles with the keys, trying to get back into the mansion. Tom opens the door. Without hesitation, Tom shoots Richie in the head. At dawn, Tom walks to a lake behind the mansion. He throws the gun into the water, removes his blood-stained shirt, and washes the blood from his face. That night, he returns home. He stands in the doorway, hesitant. Inside, Edie and the children are quietly eating dinner. Edie won't look at him. He doesn't sit down until Sarah sweetly sets a plate in front of him. He takes his seat, and Jack gently passes him food. Finally, Edie looks up. Their eyes meet. A silent, painful mixture of remorse, love, fear, and uncertainty about what comes next.